And it doesn't mean not anything to do maybe with what I do, but maybe this is a North Star of yours, is to celebrate life, to witness the miracles that is your life, you experiencing life, and then to alchemize it, transmute it, to express it through your eyes, through your spirit, through your artistry, and through the way you live, right? Also through the way you have a conversation with somebody. And um, so I'm really celebrating that. Um, Very inspirational embodiment, standing of heart and spirit. And Maria, I'm very honored to know you and very grateful.
Yeah, likewise. I feel so fortunate that I'm come across you. Yeah. And I want to say to everybody who's watching this that the questions and the discussion and the conversation we had, it's not planned or directed at all. We have just said things, and you know, we are not we have not rehearsed anything. We're just being ourselves, our authentic selves.
Yeah, yeah, yes. No armor and no defenses. And this is powerful, right? So,
Yeah,
Maria,
this
thank
is
you.
pure love. This is pure love and pure life, I would say.
Pure love, pure life, openness to be seen just as we are. So, Maria, thank you for,
Thank
yeah,
you.
coming and bringing this impulse. So, you actually invited me to have this conversation with you.
I did.
And so, wow, thank you very much for this opportunity. Yeah, to spend this hour and a half now almost together.
Yeah, we've
And
been talking a lot.
so about 9 months ago, I we had our first call together, and it was a very interesting call.
Yeah, I can say for about 1 to 2 years ago, I started to get more interested in exploring myself and my inner world.
Mm,
And that's how I started to go on different online courses, and I have joined several of them, and actually I have liked them all. And they all do have different, niches. Some is more focused on enterprising, and some are more like self-development, and some is more into, universal stuff.
mm,
And your uh, niche is also very special, with the feminine energy.
mm,
So my start was not to explore the femininity in itself, but to explore myself as a human being.
mm.
So that is how it all started.
So when we first met, there was this, we had actually a really interesting conversation that, if I'm honest, when I first saw you on camera, I was a little bit intimidated because I saw an absolutely power woman sitting in front of me, which who was coming with such already what I could perceive as a steady standing in life of, you're producing music, you're an artist, you're standing on stage, you have a presence already that is so strong and powerful. And in that first session, I was like, I don't really know if I can offer her anything because you seemed already so full and alive. And yet in that session, there was something that happened that was quite subtle and deep but profound. And I don't know if you can remember, um, what was it that made you think, okay, with I would like to dive deeper into this? Because of course you can read 1,000 personal books. There's so many people out there that could that you could have walked with for these last 9 months. There's so many people, right, that are offering ways of self-discovery, personal development of how to dive deeper into yourself. So what was it that touched you or moved you, um, that made you think, okay, I'm going to take my precious time and walk with this woman for some time? What was it?
Well, first of all, just a reflection. I mean,
Yeah.
how can you ever be intimidated by a woman that has, some ground and some power? That is what you teach.
Right.
There is nothing to be intimidated about. But of course, there are aspects of one's life that needs to improve. And
Mm,
the more grounded you are in different things, the more you realize that you know very little about other
mm,
things. So
mm,
the more you know, the more you know that you don't know so much. Well, to answer your question, I would say, as I told before, I have watched a lot of, online courses, and I've been in different coaching calls, and I also do that myself in my
mm,
own profession. So, but the one thing that really, flipped it over, it was after we had our one-to-one
mm,
session when we were talking about baby elephants and different stuffs. Uh, that really, okay, this is the program. I
mm,
want to join your energy, and I want to learn more
mm,
about the things that you have to offer. So that was the uh, the flipping point,
mm,
that's when I decided, yeah, that was a really good coaching. And
mm,
also, I'm kind of, since I do this a lot of the time myself, I do have quite high standards for what
mm.
I expect, in a coaching call. So I would say that you had some high levels there. Yeah, yeah, you had.
Aw, thank you. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, so that's really warms my heart. Thank you. Because it's true. But so what I want to highlight is a personal a way of being that maybe makes it a little bit different and unique to work with me is I truly do not have a hierarchy. So, I've sat across from other coaches. They're like, I know everything and you know nothing, and so blah blah blah. And I truly think this is not the way I want to walk, at least, right? This is not how I want to relate to people. And so when I sit across from you, Maria, I see you as a teacher as well. Even though I may have my moment, my place of expertise, I also witness you as, you know, being a teacher as well. And this is something that every woman who I work with or who comes into my immersions or my spaces online or in live is we're really looking at one another eye to eye. And in these sessions, these one-to-one sessions, sure, I am coming with my skills, but the healing and the adjustments that are happening inside are yours. You are bringing them into light, right? And this is very different, and it's very, I would say it's very cooperative, which is an innate feminine quality of cooperation, of communion, communication, and mutual honoring, right? And this is a principle that I live by. And so by saying I was a little bit intimidated by you, and I saying I don't know what to offer her. I guess the thing that I offered you was magic, was the surreal, the the part that is not so easy to grasp or understand. And that's actually a question I have for you is what was your maybe your first experience once you stepped inside of diving deeper into yourself, discovering your own magic in this way. And I'm not talking about like hocus pocus. I'm talking about radiance, magnetism, embodiment, energy flowing through you that opens you, that sensitizes you so that you can feel more, sense more, perceive more. Um, what was your maybe one of your first memories or experiences that inside of the field that you would maybe like to share about?
Yeah, I can do that. Like change sometimes comes gradually. Uh, you, it's not always, that you can say from Thursday to Friday, though this is the change, I have changed. But someday, maybe next Wednesday or the next Thursday, you will uh, acknowledge that you have handled a
Mm,
situation differently
mm,
than you had probably done before.
mm,
So that is something, and I can say, since I'm an artist and an author, I
mm,
work a lot with spoken words, and I do a lot of things on stage,
mm,
and I so much felt a very, very big change.
mm,
Now, very recently, I realized one of my biggest dreams in my artist career is that being on stage, on a very big stage in
mm,
Sweden, where I'm situated, in a very, very big festival. And I got the opportunity to do that.
mm,
And I'm 100% sure that I wouldn't have got that offer if I
mm,
hadn't joined your program and, you know, sink more into a relaxed way of being
mm,
a female.
mm.
Because
Yeah.
my approach to life is to, go get it,
Mm,
fix it, fixing your own shit, mama's doing the thing, yeah. Uh, and that's a really good way of being in life. But also, you can close some doors
mm,
being in that way. And your program has opened that door, for being more receiving, not,
mm,
not, well, here I am, just grab it. Because I tried and to get this offer, being on stage on this big festival.
mm.
But I got, some kind of dazzly answer. And then I said to myself, no, just relax.
Mm.
Just rest in your own body and trust the process, And then it just came to me and I got the offer and I didn't ask for it. I
Yeah.
was the one being asked, can you be here with us on stage, on the biggest stage, in the
Yeah.
whole Malmö festival?
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of people were there. And
Wow.
I was not the one saying, oh, look at me, here I am. They were asking me,
Right.
yeah, in a very, very intricate and subtle way. And that was
Hmm.
one thing I was very clear that that has to do with your program, And also, that was the first thing. And the other thing was that this was a totally different style for me. It was with
Mm.
a hip hop and rap group, and that is actually not my primary style.
Yeah.
And we were dancing, and I mean dancing for 1.5 hour, or maybe two hours or something. And that is not some, subtle dance. That was like doing a rage, almost like a mosh pit, for one and a
Wow.
half hour or two or something. And I'm very sure that the way that I was moving my body and
Mm.
my energy in that dance had so much developed and evolved due
Mm.
to your dances that we do once a week. A totally different way of approaching my body and my hips and my whole being, my whole being.
Mm.
And I'm
Mm.
used to dancing before because I have, professionally also been showbiz dancing.
Mm.
But this was a completely different experience in my own body, being able to do this very intense dance for
Wow.
such a long time, uh, and doing that with total awareness
Mm. Oh,
in my
yeah.
body. Yeah. So that is two things,
Wow.
being offered, not being the one offering things. And the other
Mhm.
one was to, this is how I move my body. This is my body. And it has
Wow.
always been my body, but
Yeah.
now it's my body in a very, very conscious way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. That's a huge celebration.
it is. It is. And I was so aware of that. It's due to the program that I'm in with you.
So let's name it. The program has a name. It's called Mystical Enchantress Academy, which put together is the Me Academy, right? And so this is the point of unearthing or discovering or diving deeper into the self, right? Me Academy, Mystical Enchantress. So magic, and then also this enchanting or this not like a disharmonized way of um, you know casting spells on people with but becoming this magnetic, radiant, feminine being that has people reaching out, that has people offering you opportunities to shine and actually to grow and to be seen and celebrated and witnessed in all that you are, right? And that's huge. That's really
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, yes. And it was so recent. So it was just a couple of weeks ago. And so I
Wow.
have it very fresh in my memory. And I'm very certain that this program has contributed to it in a very
Mm,
positive way.
mm, mm. So, aside also from the embodiment classes and the activations, we also have kind of the sisterhood circle that we come together and we talk about our lives, what we're kind of chewing on in the day to day, or also, profound topics that are taboo topics that, you wouldn't talk about with maybe even your best friend in certain for certain people, they don't have anybody else to talk about these topics with in such an open and empowering space where the people are really vibing and celebrating and looking for the higher frequency, the higher expression of self. And I am always careful when I say the higher expression of self because there's so many people that are trying to elevate out of their bodies. They're trying to escape by going up into spirituality or into mysticism. Whereas what's very important for me is to ground it back into the body, ground it into life. Here we are on earth. And so what you just shared, it's not about escaping into the higher version of yourself and then like, ooh, and then you can't connect to anybody or anything anymore. Actually, you brought this, truly integrated it into embodied life where you're actually touching the lives of many people, other people, with your artwork, with your creative expression, with your sensuality and the inspiration that a feminine being who is free of fear, free of judgment, free of tightness and holding back can become. And I believe every woman can become that or is that if she could only recognize who she really is, right? But so this is not easy work. So maybe would you be willing to share about perhaps a part or an experience inside meeting the women or dancing in front of the camera or doing one of the activations that was maybe challenging for you, where you had to look at something where you were like, oh, ah, or this is uncomfortable. Were there some stumbling points along the way or moments of confusion? And what happened in those moments for you?
Do you mean in the dancing sessions, or do you mean in general, or with the sisterhood?
Very open. So it's a very open-ended question. Um, because there are these three parts. There's meeting new people. There's a lot of, when you step into this space, this is not, it's a multifaceted, multidimensional space that offers a lot of touch points for people to work on themselves, to meet themselves. So I have a lot of women, they're like, ooh, sitting in a circle with 20, 30, 10, 5 other women and exposing myself is terrifying, right? So this would be maybe for them a reason why they would be like, that would be a meeting point where they realize why. The question would be, why am I afraid to be seen? Why am I afraid to raise my voice? Why do I question the questions that I have? Because the questions I have are my growth points. And when I deny myself to open and become a student with curiosity and with gentleness towards myself. You know what I mean? Or with movement, the embodiment, right? You mentioned that the embodiment for you was such a win
Yeah.
about your stage presence. Or the activations. The activations are a whole nother universe of opportunity to kind of meet yourself, to challenge also who you think you are, to discover a deeper layer, a deeper version of yourself. So, yeah, at least I know any moments of growth that have happened with me have either been uh, highly enlightening, like a moment of kind of like a heavy weight coming off of my shoulders, or those moments where I was like, I am so incredibly uncomfortable. I'm angry actually, or I want to run, I want to hide. And that's where I realize I've met my edge. I've met my growth edge. And I'm always grateful actually for those moments where because I'm pretty comfortable and I'm pretty at ease and I'm pretty confident in myself. So in those moments where I get to meet my edge again, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. Let's go. And I actually celebrate those moments of discomfort because I'm like, yeah, I get to grow again, right? So that's really the question is where was it maybe one moment of growth that happened for you where you met your edge and then had the opportunity to grow beyond it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm asking,
Uh,
I'm throwing you
but
curveballs.
well,
It's just,
I can say that one of the challenges actually, maybe this has nothing to do with either the sisterhood or the academy, but
mm,
that has been with the English language. Because I
mhm.
don't have the vocabulary. I notice this. that is a really big thing for me, being an author and a spoken word artist. I use words all the time, and I'm used to having 30 years of training
Mm.
that, I want to express something that is in my head or in my heart. I can do that with my mouth or with my body.
Mm.
And here I noticed that the terminology and the vocabulary that I've been using, and actually I've been working in the United States and all over Europe, so I'm not unused to
Mm.
having English or French or German as another language. But this has been a challenge for me actually, because
Mm.
I want to give the other women in the group so much respect as possible, and
Mm.
not saying, a bad chosen word or an
Mm.
expression. So sometimes I have problems expressing myself
Mm.
in that has actually been a challenging, and but that helps because most of the women in the group are not English native
Mm.
language. They have a similar language to me. I speak Swedish, and some of them are from Norway and Denmark, and we can we can have our own. Our language is so similar, so I can say it in Swedish, and the other women. I see myself first and mainly as a human being, and then I was trying to be evolving myself as a human being, and
Mm.
that this is an academy that is mostly towards women was not a USP for me. It was actually the opposite, because I have always felt more comfortable together with men,
Mm.
and or men or women together. I have never been in a group that I've chosen myself just to be with women. I have
Mm.
not had any need for that, or I have felt more unease with myself with just women than with
Mm.
men or with mixed groups. So that has been a challenge actually. That it's that we all just women, because that is not my uh, the usual way I'm living my life. I do, of
Mhm.
course, have female friends, but mostly I have had in my life male friends and been in male situations in workplaces, and so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You speak to something that's really, really powerful, and it's up and coming, right? Because this work of bringing women together, and I'm not exclusive. There's a feminine movement that it's like, get rid of the men and get them out. And yet there is this sacredness of women coming together again and reforming kind of these bonds that have been broken systematically, women being isolated in homes, being put against one another as competitors. And this has been, for me, the way I see it and so many others, is a fundamental strategic move to disempower the feminine. And I'm not talking about women beings, men in their feminine energy expression, because we are both masculine and feminine, and also non-binary, linear centered innocence, have also been taken away from them. Women, the feminine is the language of the heart, of emotion, of life force, energy. And so I can only just share from my own experience, also being a woman like you who felt more, most of my life felt more celebrated and welcomed by men, and also felt more safe in masculine in spaces where men were present, partially because women are pure truth and chaos as well. And so when you get a bunch of women together, I remember when I was first starting out a few years ago, one of my very good friends, and she also participated in the very first round of this academy. She was like, "You're gonna hold space for women for 6 months?" Because at the first round was a 6 month thing, and because she also holds space for women circles, and she knows how what shows up in feminine devoted spaces, the characters, the forces of nature, right? So women, feminine beings are forces of nature, right? That's how I see you. That's how I see me. We are Mother Earth enlivened with spirit, walking around, and we have the capacity to destroy or create life based on our mood, you know? And that's fine, right? Just like the weather all across the planet, natural catastrophes or an upwelling of bountiful life, no matter what the circumstances, right? Whether or not you're a piece of grass growing through concrete or you're a lush jungle full of life and like all juicy and wet all the time and providing an oasis of space for people to thrive in, right? And so I totally get you. The first time I entered a feminine space, I was also totally intimidated because we've been taught actually to fear the feminine, right? So if you think about that, you've actually been taught to feel your fear yourself. And this is one of my strongest teachings is embracing who you are, not only the light, but the darkness as well. Because the darkness that has been labeled as bad is often where your power is lying. It's often where you start being able to set your boundaries and say no, and start making space for you to shine, to radiate, to create, facilitate transformation around you, you know? And so um, I'm really, really, really excited that you are an artist that kind of creates and already shines and already has a footing and a standing. Is there anything that you would like to share about how, I don't know, anything that you would like to share about your own value system? What do you walk for? What inspires you to work on yourself or to create art? What is your fire, your passion?
Yeah. Uh, Actually, when one talks about those things, it's quite hard actually, because that is a question I do pose to myself also. Why am I doing this? What I would like to say something, or what's the point? But then I just feel that that is the only way I can do it.
Hmm.
Just expressing myself and doing that, exploring the words and the feelings and the emotions and the movements and the books and the songs and the
Hmm.
art and photography and ceramics and everything. So it's just a way of expressing who I am,
Hmm.
but I want to say something that maybe jumps to a question you didn't ask, but I will answer it anyway.
All right.
What I have noticed in myself is that I walk differently.
Uh,
Yeah. You mean as a walking, with your legs?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
In this academy, during these sessions, I walk different.
Mm,
Yes.
mm,
I walk with another stability, and I feel much more grounded. And when
mm,
I feel grounded, I also feel that my artistic expression is so much more clearer and wiser,
mm,
and the goal is not to be admired, even
mm.
though I like admirations. All people, we like to be admired, but that is not the main thing, you know. And that is something that I've been more and more aware of during
Mm,
this program. And also during this program, I think that the things that I'm doing in my ar- artistic life has always been that way, but now
mm,
it's much more clearer for me
mm.
that I don't need external validation for doing stuff, even though I get happy about it. That is not my motivation.
Yeah. Mm,
I'm not really sure what my motivation is, but you know, that I think that that's the only way I can be, you know, being, expressing myself and connecting. And the thing is
mm,
that life is so magical. It's so full of, you know, totally mind-blowing experiences every day.
mhm.
So there is no way that I can uh, avoid doing this artistic thing. That is the way the miracles I express. That is how the miracles I experience, I express them in my artistic life. And that has always been like that, but it's more clearer now
Yeah.
during this program that this is this is my life, and this is my motivation, and this is the time I have on earth. I will spend every day, you know, teaching to other people and learning by other people, and you know, just be around, yeah,
Yeah.
every day, yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. This is a moment, creativity, artistry is something that, in because it is free and it's powerful. It's so powerful. One piece of art can move somebody and change the trajectory of their entire life, you know? I became a professional dancer and like, past version of myself in this lifetime because I watched my parents took me to a dance performance and the dancer on stage touched something in me with her performance. And I thought, of course, I was 6 years old. I said, I want to touch other people the way I've just been touched. And so I want to become a dancer, right? And this is something I celebrate in the feminine and in you, right? So you are literally walking life embodied as divine feminine, right? Because you are creation in flow, right? Every book you write,
Yeah,
every song you write, every performance, every time you allow yourself to feel and to be seen in your feeling, your expression, you've you've touched something divine, divine expression.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
that artistry is the way of is a way of defining oneself, you know. This is how I define myself.
Mm.
But also, since I do this for my everyday living, that is not a big deal for me because I do it all the time. I write books and I go on stage, and that is of course a passion. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. But
Yeah.
actually, the thing that also we haven't talked about so much, but the thing that I feel when one is exploring oneself in a program in an academy like this is that the the everyday life becomes different. You know,
Mm,
I have a different approach when I speak to my children. I have twin girls. They are now 20 years old, and we spend a lot of time together. And I talk to them, and I meet them in another way
mm,
than I did before. They are also obviously the girls, women, and I am also a woman, and we speak to each other differently than before.
mm,
And also, I have noticed when I have a different approach, they approach me different also.
mm,
So it's not just about, you know, the big things, the artistry, the you know, the big things. It's about the very small things. It's how I drive the car, you
yeah.
know, yeah, doing my wheels, and that is a different approach to driving my car.
Wow.
Because I can recall the different activations, you know, with the North Star and, you know, different uh, terms that we have used, and, you know, the dances, and uh, that is affecting the not so very hot things you do, you know, when you go in the grocery store, and when you, as I said, when you drive your car, or if you just doing the lawn or whatever you're doing.
Mm,
It's a different approach, and it has taught me to just step back,
mm,
because we are all both teachers and students at the same time. And some women, or some persons maybe want to explore, you know, taking more space, more you know, get more vibrant or more colorful or whatever. And for
mm,
me, actually, it has been the opposite. You know, it's okay not to be, you know, dressed in glitter all the time, even though I like to be dressed in glitter. And I do that all the time, actually. But it's not necessary, you know, because it's
mm,
not the artifacts that are um, defining it. It's I can be more relaxed, I can be more
mm.
not so colorful, and
Yeah.
still be me. So that is a really good experience, and a new
Mm.
experience.
Beautiful.
You know,
Beautiful.
I remember, I just want to share this. I remember in the chat, we have a chat group with the women that we who are joining this program. And I said somewhere, you know, I have a different way of dressing myself.
Mm,
And I thought, I read between the lines that the other thoughts that, you know, that that was a way of, you know, being more vibrant or more colorful or more expressful. And for me, it was so different. I
mm,
have never felt at ease with just having a plain t-shirt and jeans.
mhm,
And
mhm.
now I found, you know, I can still be vibrant and sexy and feminine and relaxed, but in a very much more
Yeah.
easy dress code. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have different starting points, and we do have different things to work on.
Yeah.
And one thing of mine is that, I can be myself, not having all this bling bling all the time.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much for sharing that. I would love if I may, to highlight exactly what you're talking about of this meeting your deeper self, anchoring more deeply into yourself. And there can be, we behave a certain way because we're trying to create a safe space for ourselves, right? And this expresses in different ways. Some women or some people are more coming into quietness, into and I'm sorry, I'm here. But then there can also be the other part of like wham, like powerful, taking up space because for whatever reason, that feels safer, right? To vroom and to put on a show, right? In a and so this is bringing to the topic of integration happening, right?
Yeah,
Because there,
integration is the key actually,
yes,
because now I have my persona on stage,
yeah,
and I have different personas when I'm, just being me private. I don't have to be misread. That is my artist name. I don't have to be misread all the time.
right? That's exhausting and also very flat to deal with misread all the time, especially if you're trying to maybe have an intimate conversation with your daughters, right? Or to meet somebody from a more soft and I want to say uh, from a deeper place, inviting more calm, authentic depth into
Yeah,
relationships by basically being able to put down the armor, to show up as who you really are, open, soft in the sense of yeah, the armor isn't there. So you're just there as a human, right? You're touchable.
yeah.
You become
We had a
touchable.
really good practice. I think it was, uh, I think it was uh, during some activation, or maybe it was a dance. I don't remember. And it was like closing your knees and
Mm.
just say no,
Hmm.
no, no, and yes. And that has been also a very good exercise for me. Just
Mm.
say no.
Yeah.
I'm usually used to in life just to say yes to everything because
Hmm.
I'm naturally a person who likes to do everything, anything, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah.
But in some ways, it's also very good just to be able to say no.
Yeah.
And that's the end, you don't have to motivate or say why, or have a long range of motivations. You just say no.
Exactly. Complete ownership of your energy.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. So important. So important. And I also want to speak to the fact that it's like we go and we move in cycles, right? And so every time it's not, so you don't want to get stuck in a circle. I say we want to be spiraling upwards and also downwards at the same time, right? Spiraling into ourselves, into the depths of our being, and also elevating and spiraling upward and connecting to our higher purpose and higher expression. And so you do, even I do it. Me too. Like I just yesterday or just 2 days ago, I actually had an opportunity again to speak a very resounding no to how I'm treated within my home by a guest, and that felt really good. So I'm also listening my own teachings, and these teachings, they deepen over time. So, like you said, you're driving your car and you remember the teaching from that one activation or from that one dance or from that one comment that somebody made, and it shifts how you walk through life. And this I'm really celebrating because, like you said, it's not about the shiny parts are fun, right? The performance is amazing. But this is not how we live our life. You can't live life on stage. This is a peak experience, and that's beautiful. But actually, like you said, that's very beautiful is how you wash the dishes, how you take a shower, how you care for your children, how you meet people for the first time, how you walk.
yeah,
That's profound profound quality of life shift happening there.
Yeah. Walk the talk and talk the walk.
Right? I love
Actually,
these.
yeah. And it also actually has been changing the way I perform.
Mm,
I do have, of course, I have always taken my words seriously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been a spoken word artist. But now I do think about the words I have written and the words I
mm,
perform in a different way. And I
mm,
need less, and I don't know the English word for this, but I need less uh, manners or behaviors or, big gestures.
mm.
I feel much more natural in my speech. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that is also, and that is something that is really remarkable,
Mm,
because the audience, some people are have been following me for a few years and are coming to my shows regularly, and
mm,
they say that the last 6 months or year or whatever, that my performances have changed to the better because I
wow.
do less.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a for me that's a really big thing. Yeah.
Good.
Do less and have more impact.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. This is so cool. All
And
right.
also one thing I would
Yeah,
just like to say
please.
uh, is that to look at the recordings over and over. It's really, really good. Yeah. First time I do the activation, I was, oh, did I hear right? Or did I miss something? Or that was, technical blurb for a second and I missed the thing. But
Mm,
then if we watch it again, I can be much more relaxed in that. Do
yeah.
the dances again, do the activations again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
repetition, because every time we do it differently. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So, Maria, let's start heading towards the end of our beautiful conversation thus far. You already touched on it. So you already mentioned watch the recordings again. Do it. Just do it. It's worth it. Is there any other thing that you would prepare them for on the other side? And the last question that I would really love to ask you would be, what are your plans moving forward from this day? So where are you shooting your arrow? Where's your North Star taking you? And yeah, so those are my two questions I would still
Do
love to
you
ask.
mean like today, what I'm going to do today, or do you mean the rest of my life, or?
Well, whatever, however you want to answer the question. So today it's your birthday. Today you're going to be
Yes, it's my
celebrating.
birthday, and I'm heading for a celebration. I have a party. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
Celebrate life. Having your birthday is a
Mhm.
privilege. Being
Yeah.
alive, it's a
Yeah.
privilege,
That's so
and
true.
it's worth every celebration. Yeah, just
Mm.
that we are here and that could be experience things, and we can say things and we can hear other people saying, and we can take
Mm.
nature, the beauty of nature and everything. So it's that I'm just heading where life takes me.
Mm.
uh and I think and I can't say more than that, but I think I'm in a very, very big change in my career right now.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not being mysterious or anything. I'm just not sure yet. But I think that I will do something that I haven't done before in a very short time.
Wow.
So I will just, follow life and be as appreciated as can be. Yeah,
Mm.
to feel gratitude and to define my body and my spirit and everything, and do my work here on Earth. The time I'm here.
Oh.
Yeah. But the first question was what should one prepare for? What
Yeah.
did you say in the
Yeah.
program? Or
Yes. First, I want we're gonna. I have to circle back to what you just shared, but for this one question, how would you prepare a woman who is considering to step into the Mystical Enchantress Academy? I don't know how long it might be named that. I might change its name, but to step into a space with me, and also with other women who are in the field. What would you say to them to prepare them for what might happen when they open to doing this work, to meeting themselves, actually?
yeah, maybe I'm being a disappointment now. But
Yeah.
actually, I don't have any advice or anything to say to another woman joining the program, because we are all joining the program in so
Mm.
from different points of views and levels and angles, and we all have different stuff to work on. So I can't say anything that that would probably help somebody else. um no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. But
Thank you.
no, no. Just that, just I can say one thing, and that is not solely for the things that you are doing, but the only thing one can experience when one is exploring oneself is more of oneself, and that is a good thing.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I would like to thank you for many of the wise words that you shared throughout this entire. And if you're really paying attention, you'll have noticed, not you, but the person watching this will have noticed the highest level of integrity and authenticity, and a connection to wonder. So when you say, I experience miracles every day, this for me was a sign of like she's stepped into flow with life. We've been talking a lot.
Yeah.
I will definitely, I have a vacation, kids free vacation day today, and I haven't been to the gym in a while. So I was at the gym before this call, and I'm probably now going to go back to the gym uh, after this call.
Wow, 2 sessions in one day.
Yeah, legs and bum this morning, and this afternoon, probably deep stretch. Deep stretch. I love stretching. This is, in the fascia, we hold trauma and fear, and this is what keeps us tight. So I really like a good deep stretch, the kind that makes you want to cry. Um, that will be my
Wow.
with a lot of love.
Some heavy shit, the stretch that really want to make you cry. Yeah.
So just we don't do that in pussy dance. So the dancing classes are called pussy dance, and so in pussy dance, I don't do this with you because this is more something it's a ch personal choice to go to that level. But for me, I need it. I feel like I have some things that need to be let go. And in this way, I come into, because sometimes I'm stretching in one position for maybe 20 minutes. And if I would do that with you in pussy dance, I don't know if you'd come back in, you know?
Probably not. we would be stuck in that position for the rest of our lives, not able to, rise from the floor or anything.
Yeah, so this is residue still of my professional dancing life of like, it's like the split and the split and the split that keeps need to, goes further and further. But so this is my kink, deep stretching, and then the sauna. And you will be celebrated.
I
Um,
will be celebrating.
I love that. That's a teaching for me because I almost never celebrate my birthday with a big party. It's always been a very private, personal, quiet, intimate thing. And this year, the first time, I was like, I actually want a big party,
Yeah.
and didn't do it. But next year, it's on my list of actually your North Star
You have
celebrate
thought the
life.
thought, and that is a big party thought.
Exactly.
But
Celebrating life. It's a beautiful North Star. I'm gonna take that with me for as inspiration for the next weeks. Truly. Thank you, Maria, for the reminder.
thank you.
Yeah. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to either myself or Maria and you want to connect out, I know, and I think I speak for both of us that my heart is wide open. I am so welcoming to anybody who feels touched, inspired, or drawn to go deeper within themselves and maybe being guided by somebody who's walking this path since some years. Sending you a lot of love. And yeah, Maria, would you like to have anything? Add anything? No?
No,
Beautiful.
I feel fine.
Thank you, Maria.